Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. A number of issues have arisen in China. Y'all remember Evergrande, right? Read the latest shocking property in China. New York Times is out the money owed by giant country garden. Death claims yet another victim. This has happened before, during a washout period, also known as a space reset, and will continue to do so until the dam finally gives way. Right? Perhaps this is why today's video will discuss the causes of the stock market's recent decline, the rise and fall of cryptocurrency prices, and the ominous economic indications that are currently apparent. The stock market crash is inevitable. And the evil folks appear to be winning over there. Check out this. Country Garden, once China's largest homebuilder, has announced on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange that it is set to fail with over $187 billion in liabilities. What Country Garden is one of the biggest casualties of China's imploding real estate market, which has sent Evergrande, another giant property developer, into bankruptcy. Guys, right, again. Things are getting so bad over there because China has unexpectedly slashed interest rates by the most in 3 years, 2020. You can't make this stuff up if you're betting that the stock market would fall because they had to write and then discussed making it illegal to short stocks. Right? I can't say for sure if they went through with it, but they definitely gave it some thought when they eliminated 30% of their stock trade tax for the first time since 2008. This is the course of action they must take. A new stimulus package is in the works to help stabilize the economy. Guys, what's going on over there? That's right. They need only keep producing and handing out money like never before for men to amass vast fortunes before the inevitable collapse. We are only now beginning to notice the indicators. Listen up, folks, and raise the alarm, for Trump and his team of US strategists are plotting to unbalance Russia by waging a proxy war in Ukraine. It claimed that a global recession caused by Ukraine had completely destroyed NATO. A toothless Middle East on fire and a multipolar world rising up against a lying, depleted empire addicted to printing money. As we can see below, the price of air conditioners has been rising at a rate of $1.2 billion per hour for the past 19 days. The new information puts the NAC total somewhere between $33.50 and $1 trillion. Again, we didn't foresee it, but it's entirely possible that the number would eventually approach 50 trillion. We're getting close to the point of no return, so they might as well prepare for the inevitable exploitation of every conceivable catastrophe that arises out here. Consolidate power, cause disruption, and change the tide with a strategic tide-turning wash. Central banks are taking advantage of the turmoil to prop up markets, strengthen and maintain their positions, and shift capital into emerging countries. Reduced oil production is a result of supply decreases in Saudi Arabia and Russia. Mr. Poole appears to have had his suspicions about Jim Rickards, a former employee of a certain three-letter agency, verified during our discussion on oil and gas. If you're already in it, your presence is permanent. Credit to Jim Rickards. The key CPI data for 2023 is presented here. Okay. 3.7% in September. That big sum in the headline that read right is what the average American citizen pays. Discussion of gas and oil. The economy is doing well, too well, according to this guy. Remember how we predicted that inflation will rise again? That's right, and it could quickly escalate into hyperinflation. Because, ACS inflation is still running 3.7% above forecasts. The outlook is bleak at best. The Federal Reserve has us now, so no. Naturally, there are parallels to be drawn with the stock market and the cryptocurrency market. It's because I'm nourished by the chair that cryptists have abandoned Gus. Jerome Powell's rate hikes were quite hawkish. Enormously. Right. When the market recovers its composure, which should be sometime around November 2022, no foolin'. And it's still happening right now in the state with growing prices and inflation. Investors are understandably nervous about the future of the cryptocurrency and stock markets. In light of this, we'll discuss the possibility of a black swan event occurring within the next several months and the gods behind it. I can't believe it, but the timing of all the posts was just right. The indicator has grown in significance as countries evaluate their options for reducing inflation. Right? So, the previous month it was at 3.2%, and today it's at 3.7%. Guys, the ante is about to be raised. This is the strangest thing ever, oh my god. And the irony is doubled because the Fed claims that lowering inflation will result from rate hikes. Despite these rate hikes, inflation has recently increased. Right? CPI inflation is at 3.7%. Inflation is bad for the economy and the people living in it because it forces everyone to pay higher prices. Right. But I think we'll enter deflation when the collapse happens, when the financial disaster happens, men, right? For the simple reason that it's what the people want. Car and car insurance inflation up by how much percent, guys? You can see right here. Car repair inflation up by how much percent, guys? Transportation inflation up by how much percent, guys? Right inflation, right homeowner inflation, food away from home inflation, meat and all poultry inflation. Guys, once more, we are in the midst of a crisis. Right? Currently, we are in the midst of a crisis. We can't afford food and shelter right now, and you guys can see that. The bleak outlook for all parties involved. However, this is what they're doing in an effort to create what amounts to, in my opinion, a two-tier system in which, among other things, the poor will be considered for UBI, universal basic income, and the rich would not. What they need to know is that they will be successful enough to start their own company. But I think a lot of individuals will go bankrupt when a collapse happens because, right? There will be widespread closures, for the simple reason that salary negotiations have to reach that point. Let me describe the scene for you. My own opinion, not investment advice, is that things need to get much worse before people will start rallying for change. Consider that for a moment. And we're talking about a change in systems here, an upgrade to the current monetary structure, right? There has to be a problem that doesn't exist right now, even if September PPI inflation suddenly climbs 2.2 to 2.2% over predictions of 1.6%, or you can't just update and change everyone or bring everyone from the old system to the new system all at once. As we can see, the tide is rising everywhere. Therefore, we must now wait on the federal. Again, the reason we're discussing all these numbers is that they affect and determine where cryptocurrency prices will go next. Right. And now, unfortunately, we must discuss the Federal Reserve, which we hope will soon adopt a dovish stance. The stock market and cryptos should both rise for one last hurrah before they inevitably crash. After the September PPI inflation statistics, we should expect another great rate hike, possibly up to 29%. In the meanwhile, the most likely scenario currently predicts that rate reduction will begin in June of 2024. This is the CME Fed Watch instrument, so things are about to get very chaotic very soon. The next scheduled FOMC meeting is scheduled for February 19th. Here they will decide whether to pump or dump the markets, as currently 86% of people think the Fed will hold rates at the present level, while 13% think they will raise rates by another 25 basis points. Right. Now the question is, what will they do? Since inflation is rising, it's possible that the Fed may raise interest rates once more. Okay. And this is what will cause a new crypto price drop. Right? So, folks, pay attention because a major recession is signaled by a precipitous drop in tax revenues. Soon to come things are looking up, which is why another black swan is expected to happen in the coming months. No, I won't be reading this in its whole due of a few key criteria. I'll put the links in the show notes, but feel free to look into this. There are a number of red flags, but you can either A. Pump the markets till the club closes, B. Prepare for a very implausible collapse in the next several days, or C. Throw a black swan curveball somewhere in the middle of the road. It appears that they have picked option 3. Right? If that's what it takes, and I think we all know it does, then so be it. The purpose, in my opinion, is to teach a more emotive approach to selling and sales training. This causes people to perish before their final celebration. When things start looking positive again, due to fresh all-time highs, people will start investing again. Unfortunately, they won't be able to see the collapse coming, and they'll be caught off guard. This is just bonkers, right guys? When I read that the Central Bank of Argentina had dramatically increased its key rate to 113, or 33%, I was a little taken aback. The crucial number 133. Their more competent attorneys have revealed that sum to us. Who or what is the Supreme Court of the United States? 133, a total economic meltdown, has our enthusiastic support. Absolutely insane. Right? Ridiculous. Once again, things will get much worse before they get better. That's the way things go, every time, right? From a BC supporter last night, last but not least. To the extent that this is the case, maybe we won't dump anymore. Maybe the man and I will. Right? No one can say for sure. No one is perfect. Sure. But he has this fractal that suggests Bitcoin could push towards the $40,000 area in the next weeks. Right? In other words, months. In my opinion, we will pump just before the inevitable crash. That's all I care about. It's all over today. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.